on Part 2. The first call. In the muted glow of my small apartment, the silence was a canvas for the whispers of the night. Whispers that were abruptly torn apart by the piercing cry of the pager. Its urgent beep was the call to arms for those like me, a cryptid paramedic, and it sliced through the stillness with the precision of a scalpel. The hospital behind these alerts, St. Cyprian's, was more than a mere medical facility. It was a nexus for those born of shadow and folklore, a bastion for beings that humans only knew in nightmares or tales told by the fire. Ren, my partner, was the calm in any storm these calls heralded. A tulpa, an entity forged from the collective belief in a guardian. He was the embodiment of the hospital's mission, to protect and to heal. Time to join the dance of the unseen again, Shawn, he intoned, his voice a resonant timbre that never failed to ground me. We dressed quickly, the ritual familiar, yet always charged with a current of anticipation. Do you think we'll ever have a night off? I asked, half joking as I secured the last strap of my utility belt. Ren's form, a mere shadow moments before, solidified into the more robust outline of my partner. A night off would mean a night without incident, and in our line of work, peace is the exception, not the rule. The ambulance's radio crackled to life as we descended the stairs, a cacophony of calls and responses filling the cab. Other teams were out there, responding to the myriad emergencies that plague the cryptid community. A siren wailed in the distance, a sound eerily harmonized with the night's ambiance, as if it were an integral part of the dark symphony that played every evening. As we drove, the radio was our lifeline to St. Cyprian's, a constant stream of updates. Unit 5, responding to a gorgon with petrification symptoms, one voice said. Unit 12 en route to a brownie infestation at the old mill, another reported. The night was alive with the secret dramas of the hidden world. Arriving at the clearing, the scene before us was one of stark contrast. The Barghest, a creature of English lore, a black dog larger than any mundane beast, with matted fur and eyes that shone like two burning coals. Its form was shrouded in an aura of darkness, a living shadow that seemed to draw in the light around it. The creature was caught in a hunter's trap, a cruel contraption of Iron, and silver designed to sap its strength and tether it to this plane. Ren approached, his voice a soothing chant that seemed to weave through the air. Be still, Ancient One. You are not alone. I knelt by the Barghest, my hands moving with practiced care as I extracted the trap's teeth from its ethereal hide. The wounds were a miasma of energy, each touch sending ripples through its form. The salve I applied was an alchemical miracle, glowing with a luminescence that seemed to pulse in time with the creature's heart. As the salve took effect, the Barghest's form began to coalesce, the wounds knitting together, not just in flesh but in the very fabric of its being. It fixed its gaze upon me, a silent communication that spoke of a pain endured and the relief found. It was a look I had seen in countless eyes, human and otherwise, a universal plea for mercy, a gratitude for relief from suffering. With a final, almost reverent growl, the Barghest stood, its form solid and whole once more. He gave a nod, an ancient gesture of respect and thanks, and then, as if made from the night itself, it turned and dissipated into the woods. The drive back was a descent from the extraordinary to the mundane, the radio chatter, a reminder that the night's work was never truly done. Unit 3, be advised. We have reports of a troll under the Henderson Bridge. Proceed with caution. The dispatcher's voice crackled. Ren's eyes met mine, a silent acknowledgement of the night's work. We're like shepherds in the dark, Shawn. Shepherds to flocks that the world isn't ready to see. We weren't back to St. Cyprian's for maybe a half hour before the radio, which had been a steady stream of routine check-ins and status updates, suddenly buzzed with an urgency that had Ren and me exchanging a glance. Unit 19, this is dispatch. We have a code red at 43 Whitmore Street. Reports of a vampire, severe injuries, minimal details. Use caution. Responders have not yet secured the scene. Confirm receipt. I grabbed the receiver, my grip firm. Dispatch, this is Unit 19. Copy that. We're en route. ETA 5 minutes. Ren was already maneuvering the ambulance into the heart of the city. The silence that had settled between us was now filled with the unspoken tension of the unknown. Vampires weren't like the other cryptids we tended to. Their kind were old, powerful, and dangerous, even when hurt. As the city's skeletal structures loomed against the lightning sky, I felt the familiar surge of adrenaline. This was what we trained for, what we lived for. A life in the shadows, saving those that dwelled within. Ready for this? I asked Ren, already knowing the answer. His silhouette seemed to grow more defined, a trick of the light, or perhaps the anticipation of the call. Always, he replied, and the night carried us forward to the next chapter of our story.